How's everyone doing tonight? So, Ra, Amun, and Horus were three gods that represented three different phases of the sun. And, even in Egypt, the names of these gods had changed, many times over the years. And that's just the story that we're getting from Egyptologists, outside sources. But, then you have Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. So you have different representations of these gods all around the world. But with this Ra, Amun, and Horus, and then Horus being basically the last phase, the child or the morning sun. So you could think of Horus as being the third phase, or the phase that we're going into now. So, again, with the avatar identification with these avatars, and how all of the religions have been wrapped up into it, and all of the sciences, and so that they got you dead to right, they got you dead to right everywhere, chasing your own tail, and like little breadcrumbs here, breadcrumbs there, psyop here, psyop there, Mandela effect this, Epstein that, and just keep you occupied and keep you busy. It's time. Time's the most valuable thing. So just keep you busy and keep you on Facebook all day, and then they got you, neutralized pretty much. It's a big business. It's a busyness because they already got all the money and power, So it's a business just to keep you busy and distracted, because it's just paper monopoly money. It's only real to the slaves, the people breaking their back and digging ditches for it, or even worse, or whatever they got to do to get it, And it's real easy for somebody who's getting it for sitting behind a desk and shuffling papers around, or whatever, it might be. So we got this avatar complexity, or avatar syndrome, where we keep looking for our cues for where we should be going and what we should be looking up to. If it's not now, if we think, that Jesus, how could these Jesus freaks are pathetic, and stupid and retarded, and then we go out and we just follow the next trendy cultural trend, disguised as whatever common sense, trendy, atheism or whatever it might be, agnostic, and all being controlled by the same people, just another branch of the same think tank behind the scenes. We had that, remember that Y2K we had? Perfect example. They got everybody's attention and everybody talking about that for a while before that too. Everybody's scared about the computers shutting down, and I mean, most people didn't take it seriously, but there's a good amount of people who did. And then you had the 2012, the Mayan calendar, the reset that there was going to be volcanoes and earthquakes all over the world, and the Earth was just going to spin out of control, and the polar shift, you know what I mean? And all, uncontrollable weather, people were going to die, catastrophes, the world as we know it was going to be over. So that was 2012. Another thing that they geared you up for, and they queued you up, clued you in on, you know what I mean? They directed you towards that. As if it was something new and a new discovery, and look what we found. And luckily you with the benefit of the internet and technology, and you being so fortunate enough to be born in the time that you were born, and us stumbling across these Mayan tablets with the calendar, look at this great information. And then, they come up with this 2012 PSYOP thing, and then, now it's, World War III. They've been talking about, Iran, Russia, and terrorism since forever. It's not just like an Alex Jones thing from 10 years ago or whatever. People have been talking about this since the 70s, that there was going to be a World War III event. So it's just a lot of talk, and that's probably what it'll always be. Because things don't need to necessarily go down the way they tell you. They've been talking about Jesus returning, coming up with different dates for that to control those people. Then there was alien invasions, So as long as we keep looking for them to tell us the next avatar, the next PSYOP, who's coming to save us, and to keep us with these adult versions of Santa Claus, and then that trickles down to our children just by watching us be devoted to this with our internet time, or hear us talking about it to somebody or whatever, or just rubbing off, just us being silly, and then just our silliness rubbing. Really, we got to be careful. So let's see. Okay, we're obviously so dependent on this system right now that it's unbelievable. Like, we can't imagine just not having money, not having the next paycheck. It just doesn't even cross our mind as a possibility. It's because everything's based on having this money, and all controlled by the same people. Let's face it. So we're so dependent on these phones, just like I'm holding in my hand right now. So dependent on these phones. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I don't see it changing anytime soon. People are just more dependent. And then it's Android, all with this AI talk. So everybody's got these Android phones, and then a lot of people have iPhones, but it's basically you download any app for free, and then the app will just help you do it. And people are so excited. Look how easy that was. What an easy app. And they're like, oh, I bet it was. It's something that they carefully selected to keep you brain dead and connected to the system, and to have everything monopolized. Remember how it started with Windows, you guys, back in the 90s? And there was all those computer desktop, Dell, IBM, and everything started to slowly but surely get monopolized. And they just praised everything as it came out. Google Maps, and check out Google Earth, and they would show the satellite zooming in, and it was just like, you felt real special, like, oh, I don't need an encyclopedia anymore. Remember how it all began? And it's like, and now it's just everything. If you don't have your phone, if you don't have your credit card, your chip, the microchip, you're screwed, So, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. All right. Now, so they take away handwriting out of the schools. So where, children are just doing everything on the phones now, just do a couple texts and not even do that articulately. It can't even articulate a complete sentences or the context of a subject properly, and then so there's that. So it's clearly the controlling and manipulating of technology suppression. Obviously, everybody knows that school is not. It's not fucking bad by accident. It's intentionally. It's intentionally poor education. I mean, 8 hours a day, and coming out not knowing as much as they should for 8 hours a day, and the quality of what they are learning is not up to par, and it's whatever. I mean, a lot of people say it's like prison, and yeah, we can see the analogies there. It's like a little prison training camp, Perfect little Saturn cubicle servants, getting them ready for the Matrix, So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, so far, about any of this stuff. Like I said, it's all about that avatar. So we go from this stage now into basically a self-sufficient system. The world's based on symbology, codes, the kingship and the priesthood, and just different ways of presenting that to the people over the ages, And these cell phones are kind of like the priesthood. It's kind of like your confessional box, because you admit everything you do in there, whether you know it or not. You text things to people that you in private that you wouldn't reveal, in public. So that phone is documenting everything you do. It's like your little private little priesthood. So it was their way of having you confess all your sins and get you to do that in a convenient way to where you get used to it. And you get used to letting them know and document everything that you're doing. So that's another aspect of the phones as we go into this next age of automation and a self-governing individual who is, as I said before, there's no need to look for the AI. You've done this before and created the perfect AI. Like, we are the AI for the most part. It's artificial intelligence. It's not our own. We go on Google, we do a Google search, and we get the information from there artificially, not using our own intelligence secondhand. So this artificial intelligence has been passed on through the generations for thousands of years. So this is just going to be another phase, another form of it. Withholding technology. All of a sudden, it pops up in World War II. Right? 1600 or 1500, Gutenberg. We need the printing press right now, and then, or whatever it might have been. Just these things aren't by accident. And these technologies, we say how far technology has advanced in the recent years, just astronomically, exponentially skyrocketed to the peak of civilization of all time. And but if we look at what was done without computer technology as we know it today, World War II era, of the technology that was created that just rivals stuff today, So, when you are working together behind the scenes, it's really easy to retain all the secrets of technology over the years and pass it back and forth between, this kingship and that kingship there, this monarchy and that monarchy there. And that's what affinities are all about, and having bloodlines. Having intermarriages behind the scenes, bloodlines. Like King Solomon, down to Egypt with the Queen of Sheba. Granted, probably fictional characters, but these are basically deals behind the scenes. Where you're not going to reveal your secrets, and you won't reveal mine, and then they get these deals done behind the scenes, and have you fighting each other while they already know when the war is going to pop off ahead of time. So it's nothing new. What you're seeing here, guys, it's just that they're putting a fancy package on it and ribbon and putting it in like the sci-fi format in movies and whatnot, and the reptiles and whatnot, and blue blood, and to send you down that rabbit hole. It's like an RH negative are known as blue bloods, and they have a colder, slightly colder blood temperature, and quite a few things. And then they want to, have you say that those are like the Anunnaki, the aliens, Satan's children, and all that, and they created all those narratives for you. Whether there be some truth to it or not. When they put themselves at the scene of the crime, it's the best way to do. I was like, yeah, I was there, but it didn't happen that way. Or, I was there, I killed all those people, but I had to do it. It was for you guys. I was looking out for you guys. And plus, it gives a mystique around their name, like around whatever institution, secret society, or whatever it might be, and it just adds prestige to them, notoriety, and so it's marketing as well. What's up, Mike? So, obviously, to get a good conspiracy going, you need a good partner, right? So, of course, Nimrod had to have his wife, his better half, his other half. But before we get into that, and how kind of this new age comes about of Horus, the Luciferian Age, the Golden Age, what it's known as, let's talk about just Elon Musk real quick. Some stuff that struck me as odd. I don't know if anybody else has talked about these ones. But just, what about, is PayPal? Wasn't he known for PayPal? Now, I didn't really brush up on my Elon Musk Google search or anything like that, but if I remember correctly, it was PayPal. And this was what led to this was his initial fortune that led to his other companies and his other success, his building his fortune. So, what struck me as odd there was this guy was a young kid who come up with a video game that he sold, and then he comes up with this idea for PayPal, right? Well, he's just magically the first person to come up with an idea of digitizing money, having money through basically the internet. he's the first person to think of that. So he's the okay, I get, the gamer kid. He got a game off and got enough money to go and move out of town and whatever and do his own thing. But then he's just the only person to think about doing a PayPal type idea. And then he's a rocket scientist, and then he's the Neuralink guy for the brain chip. There's just so much going on there. It just seems so scripted as far as it being too much, just too nonchalant the guy is, and just too like, I don't know, something's off there. Yeah, but like, just something's weird about it. And it's like they're playing out this script in the sense of, it's like you're gonna catch on to this or you're fucked by this time. It's like, you're either gonna get this or you're gonna become a slave in the new world at best. A good little microchip slave or whatever desirable traits they're looking for moving forward. Because it's the only the strong survive. You either make it or you don't. They're gonna try to get you now with the refining fire, turn the heat up, and you can only go this way or that way. You're either gonna join the new world order or not join it, and of course I'm just using that as an example. It's the same world order that's always been here, but I'm just using that because that's the terminology people know. Yeah, you're either going to go ahead and play ball or you're not, and like I said, I don't see that slowing down with just the dependency that people have on phones alone. I don't see the dependency on this slowing down. And for as many decent truther sites that we see and independent truthers out here getting great content out there with halfway decent numbers, subscribers, look at the millions and millions of goofy, unbelievably silly shit that we see for stuff like Joe Rogan, for example, or NASA sites, or mainstream science stuff that's getting millions and millions of hits. So you think about, if there's 10 million truthers that are starting to, halfway diet woke, you still got 290 that are Joe Rogan at best. Maybe that's their only subscription to any type of even fake truth or even channel. So that's what we're up against, and you don't see it slowing down. You don't see that slowing down as we're moving forward. So that's what they're looking for. That type of stuck between a rock and a hard place. What are you going to do now? Type thing, because this has been in the works for a long time. So, the good cop, bad cop thing, the behind the scenes, like I said, they're behind the scenes going to war, telling you that this country's at odds with this country, and then behind the scenes, the same people are controlling everything. So, and then, it's the scapegoat and the savior in one. The good cop, bad cop. Again, the red or the white and the black checkerboard floor, controlling it all. The best way to win a debate is to know both sides. So your opponent's thought process before you go in there. So when you go into that debate, you already know his points, his talking points. So that gives you the edge. Well, when they go in there with these fake, whether they're real skirmishes or not, or whether these people are really going here and fighting for civil rights for this group of people, or wealth distribution for this group of people to get these people more money or more jobs or whatever they're trying to do, and they really think they're doing something, or if it's rigged and they're just doing it for show. Either way, they know they control both sides of that debate. You know, both sides of that fucking circus act. It's a circus, you know, it really is. So it's the same story over and over because they're the ones surviving the shit with the intermarriages between bloodlines, all right? Okay. Keeping secrets, affinities, keeping secrets, all right? And staying alive. Well, what would that be today? Well, underground cities. You know, underground bomb, not just bomb shelters, entire underground cities, hotels. You know, and that's how they would stay alive today. You know, it's like a modern day Noah's Ark, and then you close the gate, and boom, it's too late. That's what I said. It's like, hey, listen, enough time's passed. Either they got it by now or they didn't. You know, only the strong survive, and that's it. You missed the boat. You know, that type of scenario. You just took too long. You just didn't get it in time. Sorry, buddy. You missed the bus. The Bogdanov twins and Jared Kushner. I'm not sure, Mike. And then Rogan. Yeah, Rogan is to me, man. Joe Rogan's a total clown. And it's just, there's no way he's that dumb. I think he's just really comfortable in that mode now of trying to play the half-retarded, cool little truther guy. So he just sits in his chair and kind of does that thing. So he acts surprised on certain things, like they were doing some, flashing some Elon Musk, supposedly was his neck, and then his jail cell, and they show all the fucking jail, fucking jumpsuits and everything, and his note and his pen sitting on his little desk in his cell. And Joe Rogan's face just like, oh, what am I looking at? Like, you know, like he's surprised. So he just goes into those shows and like play the role, man. And that guy's got what? This goes exactly what I was saying, Mike. What, 7 million subscribers for dumb shit like that? So I don't see that slowing down. You know, there's the dependency on just the entertainment, every aspect you could think of this system. It really is, you know. So, you know, that's it. And then there's a clock in every house, you know. A lot of people wear watches even. And this time, there's a lot of symbology within the clock with the 12 hours, you know, and hour coming from Horus. And if you know, have the 12 hours of day and then the 12 hours of the night. And then you have to set your clock because it's set in Horus. So there's a lot of symbology, and if you think about the 12 hours representing the 12 zodiac signs, you know, and the energy kind of coming from the source, the two arms. So the time travelers, traveling through time, obtaining, switching things up. First, like I said, writing is the greatest gift to man. And then they stopped teaching your kids even how to write in school. And it's all on a tablet. First it was stop handwriting. Now it's just everything on their tablet. So They tell you what you're going to be proficient in, which is nothing anymore. Nobody's proficient in anything except going on Google and typing in a search. So they tell you what you're going to be proficient in, what you're not. So as they got everybody geared into this artificial intelligence, this fake consciousness, because they're shutting off your natural consciousness. So as they upload everybody into this new age of the golden age of this artificial, this AI hive mind, you know, and that's what I'm afraid about. All these downloads. Some people call them downloads, uploads. I forget which one it is now. I don't know. But that's probably a lot of that shit is this hive mind I'm talking about. Either the nanotech, I don't know if it's that, or just the old school way they've always been doing it. And having people think it's their own ideas, and then having it catch on under the guise of truth that's been leaked, or just a new way of looking at something, and it's just the same old trick over and over again. I'm gonna stay middle. I feel it's the best path. Yeah, Mike, totally. Absolutely. It's the only way. Yeah, there's just too much with the Elon thing. As if they're trying to make the script match up. And, you know, they're either willingly out there playing the role, or just by them simply being programmed, you fulfill the script. That's how connected this thing is and how powerful it is. Just by you going out there and being a part of the system and still being plugged in, you're a worker bee for that hive. You're a worker bee for that hive mind, you know? That's no longer independent thought, no longer independent action, no longer going towards an independent cause, an independent result. Because it's going to be a predetermined, how convenient, you know? Then they tell you predeterminism. Of course, it's predeterminism. We wrote the script, and then we're going to tell you everything that happened. Let a few prophecies line up, you know? Even like the Elon Musk thing is kind of like having a few prophecies line up with the mark of the beast and going into the, buying and selling and stuff like that. But we are the AI, and, you know, we are the analogy for Satan struggling against ourselves. That's why, you know, guys like Moses had horns. A lot of these figures had horns. But what they do is, right, they do these analogies to make it a cult. Because originally, a cult is just a word for, it has to do with eye, first of all, ocular, looking at something. But a cult is like understanding in-depth meaning of things, like, let's say, the inner workings of the human heart or the brain, right? And then it became hiding secrets intentionally from people. So they made Baphomet and Satan and Lucifer and all these things mysterious and taboo. Again, to send you for a loop and to predetermine your action and your emotional response. When you see the inverted pyramid and inverted pentagram, and you see the spooky looking Baphomet goat beast, they've already predetermined your response, because they told you how evil it was and how it has to do with, fuck it, you know what, Frank? We're not gonna just tell them it's Satan. You know what? Tell them it's Lucifer too. Satan and Lucifer are the same people. Tell them, oh yeah, they'll believe it, you know. And then And then they got you fucking, oh man, we just got that whole group with that one. That was a good one, buddy. You're going to be promoted to fucking, you know, I mean, that's how they've done it over the years. But Baphomet is like a new one. Some say it's only couple hundred years old, that whole idea, that whole design. So they tell you what, you know, what's going to be demonized and what's not. Okay? So that's why I said you can't get your cues from them. Otherwise, you're going to be sent off every time. So that's where we are. And it's just a matter of what we do with it now. So reptiles, yeah. The, you know, RH negative is no worse than RH positive. Positive, negative. There's differences. RH negative females can treat a fetus from an RH positive father as a virus and attack the baby, and that's RH disease. So there are differences, you know. People have said it's almost like two different species, but nobody really knows those for certain, because other than outside of the fairy tales and the reptilian stories that they've been told. So yeah, the blue bloods start with the royals, like I told you, the families, the intermarriages, you know, and it's been there all along. It's been in our face the whole time, you know. It really has survived the age. These people get wiped out. These people do. But since we have the greatest technology, and since we all know that it's coming, you know, and then hey, now it's just, if they didn't catch on by now, they're fertilizer, man. They're Soylent Green. So that's what we're coming to now. You're Soylent Green. Like, you either got it by now or you're going into a fucking wafer, buddy. And you're going to become food for the next slaves. The next microchip slaves. Because they're probably not going to feel bad. Is it going to be Terminator 2? Where everything's burnt up to a crisp? Your brain will probably be burnt up to a crisp. You know what I mean? But either way, what's most likely going to be happening is they're not going to feel bad when it comes time for you to become that Soylent Green patty and feed that to the next slave who's becoming the next slave class, you know. So that's pretty much it. But why get bent out of shape about it, you know? But it's been the same story for a long time. So Luciferian Age, you know, here we come. Horus, the Golden Dawn, and whatnot. So, thanks again for hanging out, you guys. Did I miss any comments through here? No? Thanks, Mike. And yeah, again, Rogan's a total fuckhead. Total. But that's what gets the views. 7 million. 7 million subscribers or something like that. Wow. Right? So that type of shit's not slowing down anytime soon. But you got to look at it in a positive light. That's also a good thing. That's making you learn. That's making you not just follow all those awesome documentaries that YouTube used to feed you. Now you can either be forced to go a different route or whatever it might be. I mean, but you got to look at all these things with the positive aspect of it, you know, the total aspect, Mike. That's right, the total thing. It's not black and white. It's the total aspect of everything, you know. Otherwise, it was for nothing. All right. Again, thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you again. See you soon.